Iranian threat. The region and the world face a defining moment as Iran approaches the possession of a nuclear bomb, supported by a missile arsenal capable of carrying nuclear warheads and threatening global security. Tehran's strategic goal goes beyond mere self-protection. It is based on driving the United States out of the Middle East to achieve absolute control over the land, oil resources, and vital maritime straits. In this context, Iran does not act alone. It acts as a strategic proxy for China and Russia to weaken Western influence, while it, in turn, manages a vast network of proxies such as Hezbollah, the Houthis, and militias in Iraq and Africa. Over 47 years, the region has suffered from Iranian terrorism that has claimed the lives of thousands, including American citizens in the Lebanon and Khobar bombings. Strategic facts indicate that the events of September 11th were the result of cooperation and facilitation between Iran and al-Qaeda, a partnership clearly demonstrated earlier in the 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in East Africa, Nairobi and Dar es Salaam. Additionally, Iran killed hundreds of U.S. soldiers in Iraq by providing militias with armor-piercing improvised explosive devices, EFPs. Allowing this regime to remain means enabling it to monopolize global energy resources to serve the Eastern Axis, which requires decisive action to end this threat, now just steps away from a nuclear weapon, to ensure regional stability and prevent the collapse of the global economic system.
This backward and ideological Iranian regime is unwanted by anyone in the Middle East. Even its own citizens do not desire it. So how could other nations and peoples? It is a hateful, criminal regime built on iron, fire, and greed for neighboring countries. Over 47 years, the region has suffered from Tehran's terrorism, which claimed thousands of lives, including Americans in the Lebanon, Khobar, and 1998 East Africa embassy bombings, as well as soldiers killed by EFPs in Iraq, and the cooperation with al-Qaeda for 9/11. Current military decisiveness is a necessity to save the world from this regime, which is now just meters away from nuclear weapons. On behalf of all Middle Eastern countries and citizens, we say, thank you, President Trump. You saved us, and we owe you this historic favor. God bless you. We also salute the bravery and courage of the IDF and their decisive role. And while we have some lingering issues with the State of Israel, we hope to work them out soon for the benefit of everyone and for enduring peace in the Middle East.
Here is the comprehensive strategy to dismantle the Iranian regime and establish lasting peace in the Middle East. 1. Crushing the missile arsenal and drones. This phase leads to achieving absolute air superiority in the region's skies, meaning the final stripping of the regime's most important long-range offensive and blackmail weapons. By targeting underground missile silos, mobile launch platforms, and assembly plants, absolute security for regional airspace and waterways is achieved. This positive result grants coalition forces complete freedom of movement without fear of retaliatory strikes and provides maximum protection for cities and vital facilities in neighboring countries. Once this arsenal is neutralized, the Iranian bet on the balance of terror falls, opening the way for more profound surgical operations within the regime's strategic depth without significant defensive obstacles. 2. Targeting the command structure and destroying the IRGC and besiege. This operation results in a state of organic disintegration within the state's joints, where targeting ranks from high to low leads to a loss of centralized command and control. Destroying the Revolutionary Guard, IRGC, means eliminating the force that protects the regime's survival and manages its cross-border financial and military empire, while crushing the besiege ends the tool of direct internal repression against citizens. The positive result here is a repressive power vacuum that allows the masses to move freely in the streets without fear, forcing the rest of the regular armed forces to side with the people or remain neutral, which accelerates the inevitable moment of the political regime's collapse. 3. Imposing naval control and opening the Strait of Hormuz by force. Securing the Strait of Hormuz is a crushing economic and geopolitical victory that restores confidence in global trade. By destroying coastal batteries, fast boats, and minefields, the strait transforms from a global choke point into an international corridor under permanent protection. This step ensures the continuous flow of energy supplies without interruption, maintaining global price stability and depriving the regime of the ability to stifle the global economy as a bargaining tool. Control over the strait also means tightening the naval blockade on Iranian military ports, preventing any access to external supplies or escape attempts by leaders via the sea, making the Arabian Gulf a completely safe lake.
4. Liberating digital space and destroying censorship tools. This technical military step leads to breaking the informational isolation imposed on 85 million Iranians. Targeting internet control centers and jamming devices gives the opposition and youth the ability for instant communication and broad field coordination, turning scattered protests into a comprehensive and organized national revolution. The great positive result is stripping the regime of the weapon of darkness, as it can no longer commit crimes away from the eyes of cameras. Providing open satellite internet connects the inside with the outside and allows the flow of intelligence information from citizens to the coalition, making every movement of the regime exposed and monitored before the people and the world. 5. Arming minorities and opposition forces under international supervision. Supporting and arming the Kurds, Ahwazis, Baluchis, and national opposition forces leads to creating a new military reality that ends Tehran's repressive centralization. This move scatters the regime's war effort across wide and distant geographical fronts, draining what remains of its human and logistical strength. Strict international supervision ensures this force is directed toward a single goal, to toppling the center, while ensuring the immediate stability of liberated areas and turning them into safe launch bases for deeper operations. The positive result is the emergence of organized local forces capable of protecting their borders and managing their affairs, paving the way for building a new coalition system that respects pluralism and guarantees rights for all under one national umbrella. 6. Integrated international coalition, air, land, and sea. This coalition represents the striking force and legal cover for reshaping the region. Coordination between air forces to destroy strategic targets, naval forces to secure coasts, and land forces to secure vital sites creates a military pincer that the regime cannot withstand. Positive results are manifested in speed and decisiveness as the duration of the war is reduced and collateral damage is minimized through advanced technology. The presence of coalition ground forces at strategic points ensures that chaos does not occur after the collapse of the regime's security institutions and secures sensitive weapons depots and nuclear facilities, ensuring a safe transition of power to national opposition forces.
7. Comprehensive blockade and the oil for food program. Should the situation require more time, this program represents the final financial strangulation of the war machine while protecting civilians. Preventing the regime from disposing of oil revenues ends its ability to pay mercenary salaries or purchase military spare parts, leading to the collapse of its security system from within due to bankruptcy. The positive result is diverting national resources from financing regional terrorism to providing food and medicine directly to the Iranian people, weakening loyalty to the regime and increasing popular momentum against it. This blockade turns the regime into a hollow shell, unable to manage the simplest state affairs, accelerating its spontaneous collapse under the pressure of need and popular rejection.
Sustainability of war and granting allies a leading role. This strategy ensures the regime is not given an opportunity to catch its breath or rebuild. Continuing military pressure without pause means destroying any attempt to restore the crushed capabilities, ensuring that the results are final and irreversible. Giving regional allies a larger role strengthens collective security and makes the powers historically harmed by Iranian policies the guarantors of the new stability. The positive result is the birth of a new Middle East led by stable regional powers, where decades of tension and proxy wars end, and a phase of economic cooperation and comprehensive development begins, serving all the peoples of the region after the removal of the greatest threat.
Military plan to secure and control the Strait of Hormuz. The control strategy relies on securing a buffer zone extending 200 to 300 kilometers into Iranian coasts, beginning with the evacuation of nearby cities and villages to neutralize human shields, followed by intensive aerial and missile strikes to completely clear the area of missile platforms and coastal batteries. Following the purge, international coalition forces will conduct amphibious landings to seize the shores and manage security in coastal areas, deploying strategic checkpoints on roads surrounding the strait to sever military supplies. The plan culminates in imposing continuous 24/7 aerial surveillance and a standing strike force ready for immediate intervention against any hostile movement, transforming the strait into a secure waterway under full international sovereignty.